So it feels like AI is all the rage these days, and I wanted to find out how this could impact us as tabletop gaming hobbyists and painting hobbyists. So let's find out. So recently I've been using AI a lot to help me with building out my own role-playing game and putting together different stories and building characters as well. And I wanted to walk you through how I've been using it and how it could maybe help you if you are maybe a game master or a dungeon master, if you're using it for Dungeons and Dragons, for example, or you just wanted to create some really unique stories for your different campaigns. So the premise of what I've been doing is just trying to create a tabletop role-playing game that I'll be able to use with a whole host of 15mm models. Now for this I wanted to be able to print off loads of different character cards and monster cards and just little bits like that, but I'm not particularly good at drawing. I can paint a miniature, speed paints make that very easy for me, but putting pen to paper can be a bit difficult and pretty time consuming as well. Enter Midjourney, which is what I've been using to play around to create different characters, and this thing is incredible. So how I've been using it so far is to just basically create some concept art that can go into the rule pages that I've been creating, and also to create some different character portraits. And this is where it could come in really handy. If you're a dungeon master and you've got a party of players who, for example, are getting really attached to their different players, they want a really nice portrait for one of them, you can basically plug in all the different bits that you want for that characteristic. You can describe the character that they've created, and Midjourney will spit out these 4 different variations, and you can choose which one you like the most, and then it upscales that, or you can get a different variation of one of those if you like it. It's kind of mind-boggling how good it looks. For my example, I've been creating all sorts of different wasteland survivors and putting them into this, and it spits out different characters for me. And from there, I can start to create some different personalities and backstory and other bits for that character that's then going to fit into my game. It's also been really handy for creating things like item cards and weapon cards and things like that. Stuff that I can't just grab the stock out for and stick it onto a card. Again, literally you plug in what you're wanting. So for example, I was wanting to create this body armor set. And for this, I just loaded up Midjourney and typed in that I wanted some concept art for an RPG game of body armor. And it spat this out, which I then downloaded and stuck into my cards. Another way that I've been using it, this could be a really good one for some of you game masters and dungeon masters out there who are wanting some more unique maps for your players to play in. I wanted to get some more office buildings and stuff like that, and it always feels like fantasy terrain is just in abundance, but I wanted some sci-fi stuff that my players could walk into the buildings for, explore, fight some enemies, and have it as like a battle map type thing, but with some exploration elements. Again, for this, I plugged it into Midjourney, what I was looking for, and I believe the command prompt I used to get here was a battle map of an office from above. And it basically spat this out, which looked good enough for me. And the great thing about this bit is that it'll give you the different options, you settle on the one that you like, you upscale it, but then you can ask it for variations of that same one. So now I suddenly end up with just the office that I like, but then different building parts for that office. So maybe they go onto the next floor, and the next floor has been generated, and then the floor above that, and that's also been generated, all within the same theme. So if you're looking to create some things like battle maps, something that's a bit more unique for your campaign, then again, you could use AI for that. And it's kind of crazy that it spits out these results. The other part of AI that still boggles my mind, especially from an ex-writer's perspective, is that you can use it to create story and story hooks and parts of your adventure. So part of my game that I've been building out is the fact that there's going to be more backstory and everything else. And I've had a whole host of fun because the creativity is in abundance and I've been going wild with it. But I wanted to test out AI and see what it could do. So in my head, I had this idea that my party would stumble across this man who's basically sobbing by the side of his broken down car, and he explains that his wife has been stolen by these giant mutant spiders and desperately begs the players to go and rescue her. They go off and they eventually end up in this office building, they fight their way through all the different spiders, and eventually they will find out that she's been transformed into this half spider, half woman creature, and then she reveals that her husband left her there to die, along with their 2 children. So I loaded up ChatGPT to see what it could do with this and maybe put a bit more of a spin on it, give me some dialogue, maybe some options as well for my players to choose. So using ChatGPT, I threw in what I wanted and it gave me some of these results. Now it's not mind-blowing, but if you're somebody who's not come up with an idea and you've just got some really basic bits about it, you can plug in that you want that one-shot adventure for your D&D campaign that's based around a man who sends the party to go and find his wife who's been taken by spiders. And it will spit out a whole load of stuff, different bits where you'll encounter different enemies, and just some of the stuff on how that transpires. And it will give you a bit more depth to the story. You can also ask it to give you different options and different outcomes that your players can use, and it's just a whole load of fun. One thing that it came up with was that ultimately he hadn't just been a coward and run away, he'd purposefully left her there because he was sacrificing her to the Spider Queen, And that's why he'd done it. And he was trying to get more people that he was sacrificing. And now I'm going to take that because that's an awesome spin, and he's sending the players there to be sacrificed to the Spider Queen. So again, if you're looking to create your own campaign, or if you're looking to create a spin on a different adventure, and we all know as game masters and dungeon masters what our players can be like, at times they can really throw a curveball at us and go off and do something that is completely unrelated to the days or weeks or months of preparation we've done for this game, and suddenly you're there scrambling for ideas and for characters. Ultimately, you could have your laptop open at the same time, and as they encounter different people and different NPCs, you can get AI to describe those NPCs. You could maybe quickly ask them, I need a hook for them because they've decided that they're not going to go and fight the main bad guy. They're going to go off and do this random adventure down the river. What are they going to encounter? And it will spit some results out. It's absolutely crazy. So I know this is a bit more of a rambly video, but in my deep dive into AI to help me build out the game that I'm preparing for my 50mm sci-fi adventure, I've discovered loads of things, and it's kind of boggled my mind how good all this stuff can be. Now, of course, there are some drawbacks. A lot of the time when it comes to art generation, people have a lot of fingers, and it's kind of scary, or sometimes their faces are really distorted. But again, you can get it to create another variation. It will normally correct those. Another thing to consider as well is just the whole thing of where it's drawing all of its data from, and this is more the ethical perspective, is that ultimately AI is drawing from other sources, so other sources of inspiration. So I have no idea realistically where it's getting those stories from, how original they really are. And again, same with the art as well. So just bear that in mind if you're building something out that you're going to be using for a commercial purpose. Just, you know, tread lightly. But if you're using it that's going to be something casual like I'm doing, or if you just wanted to add some additional flair to your gaming, then I honestly think this could be a game changer. So let me know in the comments below, what are you using AI for at the moment in terms of your tabletop gaming? Like I said, I could imagine creating some amazing character portraits for all of your party. That'd be a whole load of fun. And using something like ChatGPT just to create some additional bits to your adventures and add some really interesting NPCs as well. Be really interested to hear what you guys are using it for, so let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.